Hello guys, welcome back. Sathonan here. This is the Daily Grind and this is Saint Seiya Tencent, the original Chinese server for Saint Seiya Awakening. The global release is about to go live. The tentative date is September 12th. So in about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. So stay tuned because I might run a heavy grinding um, stream event just so you can see that you can reach level 20 within a couple of hours once you know what you're doing. This helps you unlock several stuff for your characters and just as a didactic exercise because I'm going to go to the Knights of the Zodiac server with the Latin American players from my legion to test the server out. We might not stay. We're going to be on the first server available. Uh, they are probably not going to keep the same names. Uh, Current one for Awakening is server one is Pegasus, but it depends. But we're going to be on Knights of the Zodiac. So the video today. Later on, I will be uploading an in-depth review of Radamanthys and Pandora because they are likely to come out very, very soon. Probably on the next banner for Tuesday. This is not a rumor or something like that. It's just something I'm theorizing. They might pull a fast one and change, maybe put a filler banner or something. If it's not a worthwhile character, don't pull. Seriously, like wait for all the new characters because each and every one of the new characters is meta worthy in some way. What we are going to review today is a setup for Legion boss that you probably will be able to build very very soon. It's not truly expensive, but it does depend on Radamanthys and Pisces on the same team. And I would like to comment that I'm going to show you later um, the Cosmos setup for this. I mostly let it play on auto, but if I see by the fifth turn the damage is low, then I will switch to manual. But this setup, you can pretty much let it run on auto all the time, and it's going to give you a decent damage. That's the reason I'm going to show you the Cosmos setup later, just so you see that my characters are not even optimized for this. My Chinese Legion was decimated after the whole Chinese ID debacle, so I pretty much have to solo all the bosses now. But you can see Radamanthys and Pisces are pretty much self-sustainable with just a minimum amount of leech. That's like 10 to 15%. Uh, my Sagi Seiya, the Gold Seiya, is not able to keep up because he doesn't have his skills developed. This boss is I think around level 27, 28, so it's very low, mostly because I'm soloing it and I'm reaching the point where I'm no longer able to kill him. Yeah, damage is very low, so I have to switch to manual because now I have to give double turns to the normal Seiya to reduce the boss defense, like this. And then I'm switching to double turns on Radamanthys so he can bomb that boss more often. And save for some very specific setups later that depend on your Cosmos and some characters. This is the best lineup you can field for the Legion boss. This is going to give you this unoptimal setup gives me like 6 maybe 7 million damage per run. But I have seen some people reach upwards of 20 million once they have full 8 sense and perfect cosmos for the bosses. It doesn't it doesn't matter if Sagiseya and Yusuriha die along the way. Later on, they will be self-sustainable too. They can actually heal all the reflect damage they get. You can see Pisces and Radamanthys stay at near full health during the whole thing. And this also works for the Legion dungeon. This is going to be a very, very fast video because after I finish with this, I'm just going to show you the Cosmos setup. So that was the damage for this: 7,700,000, 41, almost 7,800,000 damage for the single boss, for the Legion boss. Of course, higher level bosses, you're going to do just a little bit less of damage, but my characters are not full level 80 and they don't have perfect cosmos for their setup. So I just raid the next 2 attacks, and that's almost 24 million that I have done. Oh, it's a level 29 boss. So I'm not going to kill it until I reach full level 80 with Pisces and have at least the skill 3 on Sagiseya passive. Oh, you can always count on somebody coming to coming to sell food to your door here in Mexico. I live in Mexico. That's corn in a cup. People that have been following this channel for a long time, because I started this channel for DC Legends a year ago, can attest that that guy works until 11 p.m. night every day, and he almost always catches me recording, so he's part of the staff now. Alright, so that was the boss. You don't have to do that, the whole 3 fights. The sooner your Legion defeats that boss, the sooner you can cash the rewards in. Obviously, if I had 2 more people with the same setup in this, we would be soloing bosses with just 3 people until around level 50 bosses. 8 people to 10 people with exact same setup would be farming bosses up until level 100. In the Chinese server, the bosses can reach level 400 now. Just to give you a comparison in the amount of damage that people are able to do to the bosses now in big legions. Now imagine the whole 60 guys, the whole legion. I think it reaches 75 people now because they also upgraded the maximum level for the legion to 12 or 15. It has been going up, so I think you can gather 100 people now, and there are even coalitions, like 2 or more legions band together. They stay separate nominally, but you can participate in events or something like that. I wouldn't know because my legion is very, very weak in the Chinese server, so I don't get those invites. So let's check the setup. You need a strong Luna and fast Luna. This is even slow for the Chinese standards, and as you can see, I don't even have the Cosmos maximized, and they are not perfect. But you have to gather as fast as possible with the highest amount of defense, so she can withstand the attacks from the boss. Not even level 80. and Cosmos are not perfect. This has to be changed. This has very little defense. This one has speed, but it doesn't work for Luna. This tenacity is going to go to another guy later on. And they are about to introduce a system where you can exchange, for example, this Cosmos that has physical. I think there's going to be a way to exchange that at random for a diamond fee, but no details have been released so far on the specifics. And you have to put Marsh Fairy on this Luna so you can start working with these guys. Seiya has to be faster than everybody else, but go after Luna to get his double turn. And Seiya too. As you can see, this is not a level 80. Seiya doesn't have his full 8 sense, and I kind of been neglecting him for the longest time because I'm stupid. I also fell into the trap of thinking that this game was like any other gacha game and that lower rank units weren't as useful. At least for Legion boss, Seiya is going to be a mainstay of all your compositions because he weakens the boss defense. Just make sure that at least 5 or so of your Cosmos have this blood drop. I call that leech. I don't remember what the name is in Awakening. I don't really pay attention to those details because I'm not happy with how the Awakening server turned out in the end. But see, this guy doesn't have good Cosmos for this, and still I'm doing above 7 million damage to a boss. Then Seiya, same story. This Cosmos is not yet available in Awakening. I don't recall the name. I call it Red Flowers. Whatever, but try to get your Cosmos like this if it's a staunch, or you can even put New Moon for Seiya, for Seiya, but make sure that it has critical up because that's going to feed Radamanthys. And upgrade your physical strike, your defense, and whatever. Make sure he is faster than Radamanthys, which is not difficult because Radamanthys is rather slow naturally. Oh, I have to upgrade this. This one has a speed too. And like this. But notice that rock doesn't even have to be upgraded. But I really have to work on those leech Cosmos. I need a lot more leech in this setup. 10 to 15% is good for the bosses because that's the amount of damage that is going to return as a heal, so you can offset the damage reflect from the boss. Then Radamanthys, I'm going to make a video in depth for him, but basically this passive, you want to maximize this first. At least level 3, level 4 preferably, but go all the way so you get that 100%. And after that, bring this second passive to at least level 4. That's enough. That's enough for Radamanthys. Level 5 is preferable. That's in a perfect world where you can dedicate 24 blue books to just Radamanthys to maximize his damage as Legion boss killer, but this is the pivot now for Legion bosses. Then Yusuriha is just here since I have Pisces. If I didn't have Pisces, or I was using another kind of tune, for example Shura also feeds Radamanthys pretty well, so you can use that if you don't have any other character. That's Shura is a rather common Gold Saint that doesn't see much use, and now after his latest patch upgrade where he can stack up to 10 attacks when he doesn't kill an opponent, he is perfect too for bosses. So maybe I could switch Pisces, but the thing is Pisces is self-sustainable from the get-go. And finally, this guy. Uh, there is going to be a new cosmos coming out for the solar section, the red ones, that gives Heliostat health and speed when you equip all three. Uh, Pisces doesn't have to be very fast, but it helps if he has some extra speed. As long as he is the last character on your team, you're golden. You're going to be equipping Silver Dragon or Kingfisher now in the Awakening version. But later on, you can switch to this because it increases your attacking power by 40% if the character you are attacking is faster than Pisces. This Cosmos is also good for Evil Saga, and if you don't upgrade Shura's speed a lot, you can also use this on Shura. As you can see, you can go the critical route with Pisces here using a staunch and keeping your flames as the solar cosmos pretty much because you want him to crit often to feed Radamanthys passive and so he gets the multiplier. The loss in physical attack compared to using P-Stone if is offset by equipping either of those cosmos, Silver Dragon, Kingfisher or Fisher King, and this one, Two-Horned Snake, I think it's called. This is going to come out in the future very, very soon at the pace GT Arcade is going. But this is pretty much the best, cheaper setup that you can have for bosses, because Pisces you can even leave at the skill level 1 and then just work on 2 skills at level 2 for when 8 cents hit you get the 8 cents benefits for his kit. And even later on he's going to have a Saint Legend Tankobon. That's how they call the comic books. They are kind of like hard paperbacks for mangas or for manga. So he gets this, and the upgrades are pretty neat. That's 8% physical attack increase and an 11% HP increase that he sorely needs, and a 3% critical effect. So he gets harder criticals. And Camus is going to come in the near future. They're trying real hard to bring Camus into the fold, back into the meta again. They tried with normal Shaka and they didn't succeed. This guy is still, if it's the only gold saint you have, well, that's what you have to work with. You have to finish his Tankobon, and later on when they introduce the cloth repair system, this thing, Shaka gets a new skill when you repair all the cloth pieces. But Shura and Milo are way, way better in that regard. They also tried something with Camus, didn't pan out. He's not crappy, he's certainly better than his normal version. But he's still pretty useless for PvP. For PvE, he has some neat moments where you're going to need him. So if you have him, that's cool. If you don't have those characters or never sink any kind of resources, these guys, they that's ice cream. They're selling ice cream at 11 p.m. at night, dude. I mean, dude, who buys ice cream so late? Anyways, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, that's the problem with doing live recordings. But yeah, that's the thing. Camus and Shaka, if you don't invest in them, nothing happens. You're not missing anything really. They might look powerful right now in the Awakening version, but just you wait, since they are releasing new units very, very fast, their meta is going to come to an end real soon. In fact, just with knowing the medallions, these things, these ones, when these came into existence, pretty much the control teams like Leo Camus or Leo Camus Shaka, that Gold Saint trio, went the way of the dodo because they are no longer viable. So they are going to come to an end real soon. And just you wait until you start seeing more upgraded Saoris like this one. When you start facing Saoris with her passive at level 3 or above, uh, those guys no longer work. And in the new Athena, I think when you cast her basic on a teammate, that teammate gets upgraded resistances or something. So, yeah, these guys no longer work. So don't invest in them. Don't invest long term. Those guys, if you never bring them to level 80 or level 70, you are cool. I have never used them in the Chinese version, and I got them in the beginning, very early on, and I could never work on this guy when I got him. But I have never felt that I was losing because I didn't have Shaka. And one guy I did invest in the beginning, this guy Camus, and now I stripped him of Cosmos and he has filler stuff that I don't plan to upgrade anytime soon. But you can see that I invested in his skills to try the guy out, and yeah, took me through PvE a couple of months. I built the Ice Warriors team. It's not called that, but I like to call it that. Along with Hyoga and Isaac and the Black Swan. Here it is. There is this guy. Brought him to 5 stars. This team was amazing like 7 months ago. But now it doesn't work. And it's also going to come to an end in the Awakening server. So that's all for this video, guys. It's not the only team that can score that kind of damage on the boss, but it's the cheapest one that you can build, because you can get Sagi Seiya from the mall over here in the honor section, which you get through PvP tokens. You can buy his shards and build him, and once you build him once, you can start getting him through the advanced or thematic summons. So you can get dupes kind of more easily than other ones. But if push comes to shove, just give him 2 blue books, upgrade his second skill and his second passive, and you're good to go. That's all he needs, really. In normal Seiya, you're going to get a ton of his shards, tons of dupes through the normal and advanced summoning, so you can build him to max skills fairly fast. Luna, you will also get a lot of shards, so the only guys that you have to kind of worry about, because you're going to get a ton of Yasuhira, and she can also be farmed through the Saints here. You can farm her shards to maximize her skills. And even if you get this wrong, you still get a couple of shards. So you can farm her through here. And so you only have to worry about getting a Pisces and getting a Radamanthys. And Radamanthys can even work with just 6 blue books. And later on, as the game progresses, you're going to get shards way more easily. So it's faster and cheaper to work on S cards, because I have seen a couple of teams that use Poseidon or use Hades that do a ton of damage to the bosses. But your chances of getting either one of those characters to max skills and with perfect Cosmos to level 80 is much more expensive than this Legion Boss setup that I just shown you. And it's going to be available very, very soon for people in the Awakening version. So thank you guys for your time. Thank you for watching. Remember to leave your comments below. Vote on who you want to see an in-depth review. Next one is going to be Radamanthys. And over the coming week, I'm going to showcase all of the Hades chapter units. That's including Niobe of the Deep and Worm Raimi, who I just unlocked yesterday. So in the Chinese version, I am only missing Gold Hyoga. This one, Worm Raimi. It's a very, very good healer and can also do some decent attacks for an A grade unit. So comment on who you want to see first, but it's going to be all the Hades chapter units, and then the Divine Bronze Saints, Pegasus and Iki. So see you around. See you next time. Remember, keep grinding on.